Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and today we've got the first of 6 battle reports from the Rocky Mountain Open, which is a grand tournament in the Denver area. It's a huge tournament, biggest in our area, and we're facing Tau today, so help mount the algorithm here, folks. Please hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, comment. Let's get it done, please. All support is very, very appreciated. So, we went to help set up the day before, actually, which was cool. Me and my 11-year-old son, we went and helped set up. We had a little extra time, and it was cool. It's in the Adams County Fairgrounds, which is a cool place. It's a cool venue to have an event like this. I don't think I've ever been to a place that... to a fairgrounds for this sort of thing, so pretty neat. And they actually hooked my son up with all kinds of awesome loot. They gave him wound counters, measuring tools, one of the little laser things. They gave me some stuff too, but man, it was really cool. They gave him a big old pile of dice, the like nice dice. Really cool stuff. My son worked hard for it. He really did. I was very proud of him, and they seemed to be charmed by the fact that he was there helping. So, anyways, it was a cool event for sure. As for the list that I took, you're running Salamanders in the Gladius detachment, and so... Salamanders, I don't just mean that they're painted green. They're also, I'm taking the characters. So we've got Adrax and Vulkan, and then a bunch of skirmisher units, basically, and then a bunch of vehicles. And the idea is just to have a lot of different units that are really flexible and help me be able to get the job done against a bunch of different profiles out there. The strategy is typically being able to adapt to whatever nonsense our opponents throw our way, and so we want to be able to counter the meta, basically. And I've only been playing for 7 months at this point, so it's not like I have this comprehensive understanding of what the meta really is, though I'm starting to get better at reading it and understanding what's going on. So yeah, this list I've been undefeated with it, and it's been doing really well for me, and I decided, well, why not take it to a GT? I went undefeated at an RTT. Why not escalate things and take it to an RTT? We're facing Tau, and I don't know much about Tau, folks. The games I've played against Tau have just not been that informative of what they can actually do, and there's not just a huge amount of resources out there to help me get better at Tau, though actually my opponent is a content creator, and I'm gonna link his YouTube channel in the video description if you guys want to go check him out. He just does exclusively Tau stuff as far as I can tell, yeah, he lives in the local area. He's a really good Tau player, but I'd never played against him, so I guess it's good we're playing. Auxiliary Cadre is something I've never played against, and he has a ton. It looks like he has a pretty similar approach to this to playing games like as me, like just a ton of skirmishing units, and then some real strength, some real good shooting behind that. So there is one other twist here, folks, and that is that we were asked to play on the streaming table on War Games Live. So I'm going to actually link that in the video description as well. You guys can go watch me play live if you want, and that's probably better than watching my recap, though. You don't see all of my thoughts and like what my goals were, what my objectives were and stuff. If you want to watch this and then go watch the live broadcast, or watch that and then come watch this, whatever you want to do, or choose one or the other. I don't really care. That is an option. If you guys want to see me see me play live, then great. I'm also just using screenshots from that broadcast, so they're not going to be as detailed as my usual photos, but hopefully it's informative, and it was a really interesting game, actually. So let's jump into it. Okay, so here we are, folks. One of the things that this Tau Auxiliary Cadre does pretty well is it makes it so that all of the Kroot guys, basically, and Vespid, all of the guys that aren't actually Tau, the guys who aren't yellow, essentially, are able to get lone op, which is you can't shoot at them within 18 inches in this case, as long as they're within 6 inches of an actual Tau unit. So, like, for instance, you can see this, these guys are called Krootox Rampagers, I believe. They're all within 6 inches of a Tau unit right now, and therefore, I can't actually see them. Even though it looks like I could see them, I can't. We can't see them. They're huge lumbering beasts that we cannot see. Just like how Be'lakor makes it so that you can't see his demon prince friends. But here's what it looks like. We ended up, we have to go first. Very unfortunate that, because we're playing on Linchpin, and that's a frustrating one to do. And I don't know anything about how Tau work, really. Not truly. So we got the Combi Lieutenant up top because it's search and destroy, and we need to be able to hold that objective right away. And then we've got our skirmishing units. This is after scouting moves, at least my scouting moves. I think maybe he hadn't done all of his scouting moves at that point. But the scouts and the incursors are all both just kind of hiding in the little shelter area. And then, you know, we got Infernus that are going to just head up into the center there. Vulkan and company heroes are going to head over to the objective as quickly as possible. And then one thing that is a little bit limited that we're going to just have to live with on this particular battle report, guys, is we just can't see the very top and very bottom of the screen. Like, his cameras just didn't quite cover all of that, or at least they didn't in the screenshots that I took. So anyways, you can see half of my Predator Destructor here, and a lot of what happens, well, at least some of what happens is on the periphery, so we'll have to use our imaginations, guys. The Impulsor, I didn't have a huge rush. Like, the goal was just to go up and into this little nook here eventually, as long as he gets there by turn 2, which even if you roll fairly low on your advanced rolls, you can still pretty much get into the corner there by turn 2, so that you can they're for late game, so they're just kind of messing around, just chilling for the first 3 or 4 turns, usually by intention. And that's it. We have a lot of reserves, of course. That's usual. We're deep striking with the jump pack intercessors and the storm speeder hammer strike, and then we have strategic reserves for Infernus Marines, a ballistus dread, and a predator destructor. And in his case, he has 2 of the Razor Shark Strike Fighters, which they're flyers. I have very, very little interaction with them. I don't know anything about them, honestly, guys. And then he's got 3 units of Krootox Rampagers. One of them is going to be in reserves as well, and then he's just got a bunch of stuff hidden, folks. Just a ton of stuff hidden. I don't know where his 3rd unit of Vespid are. They're somewhere, guys. That I can tell you. They do exist somewhere. But there's so many units that I feel like all of the arrows and the words and all of this stuff, not to mention the view from here, like the top down view, make it kind of challenging to be able to see all of the things and picture exactly how, like, there's a ton of stuff here, folks. There are a ton of stuff, and oh man, so we got to go first. And yeah, here's one last view, folks. One final view of the battlefield before we get into it. It's gonna get hairy real quick. And Tau aren't, I don't think they have much hair. Maybe the Krootox do. I don't know. Go ask a Krootox. One thing I am going to point out, folks, is I got a lot of compliments on this stream for how nice my army was, and I mean, I've never taken credit for it, ever. My painting guy has done an amazing job, and I would be remiss not to give him a shout out right now. So go, he has a really good deal actually. You can see my vehicles look really nice here. Stay tuned. What? Go consider getting some commission work done by him. By the way, folks, huge shout out to my painting guy for this army. You guys have probably noticed how lovely the army is that he's painted. I pay him to, he does such a good job. I'm constantly getting compliments, and I have to tell him, no, I'm not the guy who does it. It's a commission painter, and he is doing a deal right now where he'll paint a vehicle for you for $50, which is pretty nice. Really a good deal. An amazing deal, in fact. And you should give it a look, guys. I mean, everyone, we've all got things we need to do, and vehicles can be very time consuming, very challenging to paint. And for $50, he'll paint a vehicle for you, maybe more. If you just reach out to him, go to his Instagram page. It's going to be linked in the video description. Frog and Bear Studios, folks. Go check him out and give him a ring. Hit him up. And he's $50 for this level of painting on vehicles. It's very nice. A really good deal. Please, guys, take advantage of this. Do yourselves a favor. It's you won't regret it. It's truly a great service. So, with that, let's jump back into it here, folks. Frog and Bear Studios in the video description. All right, folks. So he's hidden all of his good stuff from us. We're not going to be able to see any of his heavy hitter stuff for a while, and it seems pretty obvious to me at this point that he's just trying to get all of his chaff units out there to win the chaff war. And honestly, I'm fine with that. I tend to do very well in that kind of fight, and if we can kill all of his just crap stuff, then I mean with our own crap stuff, it's not an insult to be clear, then we can eventually start working on things like just holding objectives long term or stopping him from scoring on those objectives. And that's kind of the goal right now, is to get rid of all of his chaff and position ourselves to get rid of even more. So granted, none of the stuff that he's placed is actually visible because of that lone op rule that you have to be within 6 inches of a Tau unit to be able to be lone op and all of that stuff, but that's we got to work around it and kind of position ourselves in a way that's going to be advantageous for later. All right, assassination and cleanse for turn 1. Not my very favorite. Assassination is just going to be CP here, but one way or another, cleanse, we can do that. We can play cleanse a little bit. We also have raised banners, so we'll get something like 5 banners this turn, probably. So this is probably after he, or before he did his scout moves, because I think these Pathfinders end up in this little nook here. I don't think they actually were available. Otherwise, if they were, we probably would have just charged and killed them with one of our units on turn 1, but I don't think he was available. So yeah, here he is. So at the end of the turn, you can see his Pathfinders are here, just in his little castle. You can see he's got Kroot there, Rampagers. He's got more Rampagers. More Rampagers are in reserves, and it is just kind of a mess, folks. It's just got so many units. It is insane. So I mean, this is a pretty simple turn for me. The Combi Lieutenant gets on that objective and cleanses. This scout just toes into the objective and cleanses. And then we're just leaving the Dreadnought here, just so that he's not visible. And the Predator just vroomed his way up here so that he could eventually have line of sight up this direction. And that's basically it. That's as well as I can imagine. I wish I could see this guy, because otherwise this Predator might be able to poke his head out and see these guys. And I mean, you can see there's line of sight. If we draw a straight line, we could have seen them. But as I said before, you can't actually, they're within 6 inches of this Tau unit, and therefore they're lone op. We can't actually see the crew talks. They're as well hidden as they can be. So no kills this turn, but hopefully we're in position to do well next time. One thing I should point out here, folks, is Vulkan is close to the objective, but not on it. He did his best, but he came up short. So my opponent gets Bring It Down and Secure No Man's Land. Secure No Man's Land is going to push him into that center objective, which is interesting. It kind of just escalates things a little bit. So here's what it looked like before we got moving. And I mean, he's probably going to try to kill the scouts, most likely. And otherwise, I wasn't really sure what he was going to do. Again, I don't know much about Tau. So what ended up happening, though, it was shocking, actually. So the crew talks who were up here charged the scouts, all right? And the scouts are like way over here. They're not close to the objective because I didn't want him to be able to charge the scouts and walk onto the objective. What I didn't realize was, and I think he told me about this, so I'm not accusing him at all of like gotcha-ing me. It's one of those things that you just think about, though. He was able to charge and kill the scouts. Okay, that's fine. I wanted him to do that. So then he's got a unit of guys in my back lines that I can just shoot. But the thing I didn't realize was he could then use a stratagem to walk his guys onto the objective, like 6 or 7 inches away, and just get on the objective. Didn't realize he could do that. And so I let him get onto the objective, and I actually looked to see if in the Gladius detachment if I was able to reactive move based off of his move and get onto the objective with Vulkan, because I didn't want him to stop me from scoring. And Vulkan, of course, has 10 OC when he's on this objective. This is his objective. You can see the token for it, but he doesn't have that. It's only in your opponent's movement phase, unfortunately. So he got onto the objective with the guys, which was really frustrating. And then because the scouts are dead, he's able to get on to this objective with the Pathfinders, and the Pathfinders score Secure No Man's Land for him. Luckily, he didn't kill any vehicles, so he has to get rid of Bring It Down. And at the end of it, we both scored 5 on turn 1, though we did get the first kill. And the advantage is his because he also stopped me from scoring on my secondary, which I just didn't think he could do. Turn 1, I didn't think he could do it. So kind of shocking, and the not the best, because he's got a huge advantage with Linchpin going second. Like, he's going to get a ton of points in Linchpin. It's not a good start for me at all. In fact, even though the score looks equal, it's not actually good. So I roll up Area Denial and Containment. Containment is something I can easily get. Area Denial, something we can get, at least to a smaller degree. So yeah, we gotta start making things happen, though, folks, or the game's gonna run away with us real quickly. Well, that didn't go as planned. That sucked. I can't believe he's able to get onto my home objective. Well, it's not my home, my expansion, but I mean, it was tricky. It was a good move. It sucks, but it was good. The game must go on, though, right? We got to keep marching, and he's left a lot of things available for us to be able to mess around with, and honestly, he's got so much chaff. We've got to deal with it as soon as possible. And so we're gonna start planning right now for our eventual contestation of his expansion objective. Hopefully on turns 3 and 4 is the goal. 5 is just not going to happen because he gets to score at the bottom of turn, which means even if we contest it and he starts the turn at not being able to score, he'll be able to score it at the end of turn 5 instead. So Contesting on 3 and 4 is the best we can hope for. He's already contested ours on 2, which sucks. We need to make sure that doesn't happen again as well. So really just setting ourselves up this turn for future turns is the main objective. So containment and area denial, not the worst here. So in the planning phase, this is what it looked like at the end. We need to get rid of these rampagers, obviously, though Vulkan should be able to get that done. One thing that I consistently did here, folks, was overestimate my opponent's willingness to get his really strong shooter guys out and reveal them. He didn't want to do that, and I didn't realize that until later. Yes, he kind of wanted to, I guess, but only when it made sense, because he felt like his units were very vulnerable, which I think they were, but he didn't want to have any of them exposed too early. And so, I mean, in reality, Vulkan and company probably could have gotten out here and just kind of killed the crew talks and done some cool stuff. Instead, I opted to kind of hide and use other units to kill him, which wasn't the worst idea anyways, but I think you getting Vulkan involved earlier on would have been good, because it would have been tough for him to remove the Vulkan with company heroes. They're a tough unit to kill, and you didn't have anything that could really contest that objective well anyways, so the idea would be getting them involved would shake free a bunch of other resources. But one way or another, guys, we've got to kill as many of these Pathfinders as possible, and we want to move block him from coming in from reserves over here in the corner. We don't want him to be able to threaten our home objective at all. And right now he doesn't screened out this side at all, and so we have this opportunity to either use our Infernus to shoot and kill all of the Pathfinders here, or to kill the Kroot. And yeah, that's basically the goal. If we can kill the Kroot, if we can kill the Pathfinders, we need to get control of this objective here so that we can get area denial. And so there's a few different things we can do. One of the things we need to make sure of is if the Incursors can get onto this objective and threaten the Pathfinders with a charge. The Pathfinders kind of want to be, they want to be a mess here. They want a skirmish here in the center, but they don't really want to get into a big full-blown like punch fest with the Incursors. And so if the Incursors can go here, shoot a few of them off of here, probably he'll remove that front guy. If he doesn't, if he makes a mistake and removes the back guys instead, just so he can maybe hold this objective, then I'll be able to just charge this front guy and wipe the rest of the unit, because Incursors will do that to a skirmishing unit like Pathfinders. At the end of the day, all right, so we got the tank up here. You can see it's kind of cut off at the top. As I said, the tank moved up, shot and killed most of the rampagers. So between them and him and the Incursors, or sorry, these are the Infernus burninating things. We had the land speeder come in, or the storm speeder come in and shoot the Infernus, the blade guard and company. We're also able to shoot the Krutoks. Like they just died. He rolled well, but he ultimately died. So that was pretty neat. And I mean, we needed that to happen. Even if they hadn't died, we still would have held the objective, and the amount of mischief they could have caused would have been limited. Plus, I think at that point, if they were still alive, probably would have just charged Vulkan out and taken him down if necessary. I didn't really want to expose Vulkan, though. I think, looking back, I think that might have been the wisest idea. So otherwise, the Infernus came up and they burned, and I decided, it actually didn't go in this order, but I decided eventually those Kroot, they don't pose much of a threat on their own, but the huge threat that they do pose is they can block what I'm trying to do fairly well, and I don't want Kroot to gum up the works. And they're so easy to kill with Infernus, guys. They have a 6-up in armor save, and so you just ignore their armor save. You're wounding them on 3s, and it's just fairly easy. Wiped out the unit of Kroot, and we've also positioned ourselves so that we can overwatch something if they get too close. So having those Infernus there you know, 9 inches away. I'll say this right now. After that, I tried to charge these Pathfinders, because if I could actually charge this turn, I could in fact contest his objective on turn 2. I tried to charge, failed, re-rolled, and failed, which was, I mean, you don't expect a 9 to be rolled. It's not like, oh yeah, I guarantee that's going to happen, but gosh, that would have been nice. That would have been so nice. It didn't happen, but gosh, I was really hoping it would. Anyways, we also managed to kill 4 of the models from the Pathfinder unit with Incursors. You can see the Incursors, we have the arrow pointing at them. They got onto this objective here, and because we want area denial, right? And so we killed the front few Pathfinders. The back ones are still within 6 inches of the center, so we're only going to get small area denial, but it's better than nothing. And we've started to strike some blows. We've got some good screening over here with the Infernus, and you can see the tank this time did move up so that it can eventually move up here to be able to contest this this side if we need to. So one thing I suppose I should know. Oh, and I think we have a slide pointing at him. Yeah, okay. So you can see I did try to charge. I pointed that out earlier. I tried to charge these guys, the stealth suits, because they were right up against the wall, because they had to help do that to hold the objective. And so we weren't able to get the charge off. One thing that he did do, and it wouldn't have helped him actually if we had been able to get the charge, but the Krutox Rampagers, he did rapid ingress just so that he could next turn be able to do something, which I thought was perfect. I wanted them to rapid ingress. In fact, that was good, because if I had charged the stealth suits, and let's say I rolled a 12, which I thought was unlikely, even if then, we would just get into engagement range. Most likely a 10 or 11, I think, would have just gotten us into engagement range. And it doesn't matter if I killed them. Remember, my Infernus are all OC2. I would have been able to contest that objective. And the Recruitox would not have been able to get in because they would have been 6 inches or more out. So that would have been perfect, but didn't happen. And I decided not to charge with the Incursors into the Pathfinders. Even though I probably could have gotten there, I didn't want him to heroic intervene with his Rampagers over here, because the Rampagers probably would have just killed me, and then I wouldn't have even gotten area denial at all. So just trying to play patient. You know, he's positioned as Krutox Rampager as well. Let's just see what happens in the next turn. So he gets area denial, and he gets overwhelming force, which is killing units who are on objectives. So he's got a pretty obvious goal here: killed my Incursors if at all possible. And I'll tell you right now, he moved close-ish to the Incursors. The Incursors moved into this building. They got a reactive move of like 5 or 6. And so they got into the building and made it so that the Rampagers wouldn't be able to charge. But then you'll see what happens. It's fairly tragic. So they all died anyways. And I put X's here just to show you guys where they had initially started. So the Rampagers did get up here to threaten the Incursors. The Incursors reactive moved into the building. But then, something you can't see, because it's on the periphery again, one of his flyers came in and killed all the Incursors, because he has true line of sight. So he could just see them, and he zapped them and killed them. Instantly, it was tragic. You can see he's trying to stop me with his Vespid from getting out of the Impulsor, to be able to you know, have the Blade Guard get out and be able to charge and stuff. He's trying to screen himself, which I think is smart, though I didn't really want to do that yet anyways. One thing that was cool, he moved his Pathfinders. He moved them to like right here, to like basically where the Vespid currently are. He was able to deep strike the Vespid, but he was able to move his Pathfinders, and the Infernus were able to overwatch and kill all of the Pathfinders, which I thought was fantastic. That was like, they killed 2 chaff units, and they blocked him from being able to do much on the side. Like, what a wonderful use of Infernus. Like, for 90 points, killing 2 units. amazing. Just a swell use. And then further, I really wanted this to happen too, though I wasn't sure if it would. And maybe we have a slide that shows it. Okay, so first, before any of that, he did move his Vespid right here, which blocked me. He actually, on his own clock, he wanted me to see if his Vespid positioning was going to stop me from rapid ingressing my jump intercessors, which it just barely did, in fact, stop me. So that was a good use of his Vespids, deep striking. And so I couldn't get the jump intercessors to down here, unfortunately, but I did decide to rapid ingress them here anyways, because the idea at that point, he had moved his Krutox Ravagers, Rampagers up, and he was very clearly going to charge the Infernus Marines, which if he did that, which is what I wanted, I mean, the Infernus weren't going to live, but as long as he had a unit on his own objective, then I was going to be close enough, especially if I go into Assault Doctrine so I can advance and charge. I could get the Assault Intercessors to jump up, and then we shoot some shots into these guys, soften them up, and have the jump intercessors go and contest his objective. That is exactly what I wanted. So I was fine with rapid ingressing them, even though it was in my own deployment zone, and I actually got some flack from chat about that. They were like, dude, it's depressing when you have to rapid ingress into your own deployment zone, which I agree to some extent, but I mean, John's a good player. He's screening me out of stuff. But they would also, if I don't have this unit available, I need to have it available next turn. And that doesn't include deep striking and trying to charge 9 inches or something. It means I want to be able to move 12 plus in advance into a charge. And that's exactly, so deep striking them here, actually fully acceptable. Now, you can see, yeah, the Infernus all died because the Rampagers charged them, which, you know, too bad, but it happens. They killed 2 units. I'm not really that sad about it. And he's got a lot of his chaff exposed at this point. So we can start messing with his objectives and stuff. He ended up scoring 5 area denial because I didn't have anything within 6 inches of the center, so good for him. And then he got 3 for killing that unit of incursors, so pretty tragic. We tied on secondaries, actually, though. We didn't. He's ahead on primary, which is not a good place to be for a reactive army like Tau. And Tau are just able to... they're able to just hold me off for a while, and then on turn 5 just jump on objectives and score like an easy 13. So we really need to get ahead on primary. Hopefully we can do that this coming turn. So I got Bring It Down and Establish Locus, which Establish Locus is kind of a pain, probably not going to work on that, but Bring It Down is something we can meet head on a little bit, at least, because we at least have one really compelling target right now. Honestly, I don't know much about Tau, but I feel like things are going pretty well so far. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what it seems like. It seems like I've gotten him to expose most of his chaff units. He's got a couple of units of Vespid left around, like 1 unit of Vespid. He's got his stealth suits and all of that. He's got like a Kroot unit hiding out, but otherwise, this is the turn that we have to kill all of his stuff. All of his chaff, if at all possible, and contest his objective. If we can do that, and then set it up so that we can contest on turn 4 as well, and then get a couple favorable secondaries, then we could actually still win this. Otherwise, he's had the advantage from the very start. It's going to be a challenge, frankly. We'll have to see, but this is what we've positioned for. He's got a lot of stuff out and available for us to kill. What's not to like? Right now, this is going as well as I could have hoped for at this point, other than him contesting my expansion objective on turn 1/2. That sucked. That sucked in a big way. And not getting a charge with the Infernus, which also sucked in a big way. But it happens. Let's get into it. Let's see how it goes, folks. So bringing down an established locus. Not my very favorites, to be honest here, folks. But so he's got Vespid here, he's got Rampagers here, he's got more Vespid here, he's got more Rampagers here. Can we kill all of those? And then the biggest thing here, folks, you can see I've already done it. I've got Oath of Moment on his flyer, because even if I can't see him through a footprint, he can see me through footprints because it's true line of sight. So I'll be able to get a few tanks and stuff to be able to shoot his flyer here. And if I can kill that, I mean, it kills Marines so well. If we can kill that, then he's still got one more, but then he's got one fewer flyer. And it's honestly, that's the biggest deal thing we've got to do right now. We've got to kill that. And then also, I mean, it's not going to be a walk in the park to kill the Rampagers, but we have enough firepower. We could probably do it. So where to even begin? This is what it looked like at the end. And okay, so let's just start with the jump intercessors roll and get an assault. They roll their assault roll, go into assault doctrine, in fact. And so they get into the Krutox Rampagers and kill them. Yay! Good job, guys, contesting that objective. That's exactly what we wanted. I will say that I got a power fist into the stealth suits in the back here and whiffed. Oh, it sucks, guys. That actually ends up being a fairly big deal. Did not do nearly as well against that unit as I thought. I got 3 guys attacking in and only ended up doing 1 wound total to that, though I did kill the Rampagers, which was nice. And you can see, okay, so we were able to burninate the Vespid that we're blocking here. We were able to, through the combined arms of this Ballistus and the Storm Speeder, and let's see, we brought in another Predator, and this Predator, and through all of the shooting and stuff, managed to kill all the Krut Rampagers, killed the Vespids here. The biggest thing, though, folks, was even between the shooting of all of my different units, I mean, because everyone can see the flyer remained on 1 wound, which means we're not going to score any secondaries at all this turn, because we didn't have enough shots to actually kill the Vespid and then also get Locus. So no secondaries this turn really stings. And gosh, just if I could just kill that flyer, guys, is going to end up haunting us a little bit, as you'll see. But okay, at least we had a positive turn in the sense that we denied him primary here. We stopped him from being able to get onto this center objective, and we killed all of his stuff that's blocking us and messing with us right now, right? We're presenting a pretty big threat. He's gonna have to get some of his big stuff out now. Yeah, so arrows just pointing. Look at how we failed on his flyer. Really tragic. Really, it looks all right now, right? I mean, obviously our jump intercessors are gonna die, but here's the thing: depending on how he's able to get onto this objective, we can just shoot guys off of the objective and then get our tanks onto it and contest it again. And that's the goal for turn 4. So he gets established locus as well, and extend battle lines, which extend is such a nice one. Gosh, I wish I had gotten extend, but alas, we didn't get it. So here's what it looks like before. Here's what it looks like after. You can see he's got a lot of stuff out. He's got Krut that managed to get from all the way back here onto the center objective somehow. I'm actually not sure how he managed that, but he did. And maybe he did like the full 6 advance. I think that's what I think he has a stratagem to let his Krut get onto the objective. So anyways, yeah, you can see he got all of his stuff out. You can see his commander, his suits and everything. They were able to get line of sight and kill this. His flyer came over here and shot some stuff. Another flyer came in over here, by the way. So he's got all his stuff in. he managed to kill, he only killed 3 of my Infernus, so that was pretty neat. Though he killed the Storm Speeder, he killed the Ballistus Dreadnought, and he killed the Predator here. Like, everything he looked at, they just died. Just instantly. His dice rolls are going really well. At this point, I watched the whole video replay, and everyone in chat seemed to think that my dice rolling was bad, and I agreed. It was pretty awful. Tons of really poor dice rolls. Like that flyer, I think should have just died, for instance. And some of the things that happened to my tanks, like I don't think I saved a single thing, which he has pretty good AP and stuff. I don't mean to whine. He was able to get what he wanted. There was never like maybe this time, maybe like he won't get something that he wanted. Like I needed like one thing to go well here, and none of it really did. So all my stuff died. They just died. Not even close. They all just died. And so he scored extend battle lines. He also didn't get established locus because he didn't have anything within 6 inches that could do it. And so we're all tied up right now at 24, I believe. I think that's the case anyways. So that's good, I guess. Maybe we were tied at, who knows, guys? No one knows. So I had kept bringing it down because, remember, all of his suits are technically vehicles. And so I wanted to mess with him. Actually, I wanted him to not be able to tell like what he should do with his guys. I didn't want him to overexpose them. I wanted him to be very cautious with them so that he wouldn't be able to use them as well. And I think that helped a little bit, at least, though it didn't. The big thing was I could have exploited it a lot better if any of my stuff had lived. Well, he hit with everything. He just rolled really high on his damage, and it just ruined me. So anyways, we get Storm Hostile and bring it down. Here, Storm Hostile is very doable because his Kroot are holding that center objective. And so the idea here is it's our go turn. We gotta get our Blade Guard out and charge. So here's my vast ignorance, guys. I don't know Tau and I don't know flyers. Get the Blade Guard out. I'm gonna charge his flyer. Right? That's the goal. We want to charge the flyer, and what we really want to do is charge the flyer and also catch the stealth suits, and then also engage the hammerhead so that he can't use his ion cannon to do his 3 damage blast on the Blade Guard. Like that's the goal, is to just kill those 2 units and engage the hammerhead. That's the goal. And then we also need to get this tank up here, charge the stealth suits, like shoot a couple of them, and then charge them with the tank. And it's not nearly as far as you might think, guys. Even if I kill the first 2 of them, it's still only like a 7 or 8 inch charge for this tank. So it's not too far, and then we can tank shock him and call it good. He does have his hammerhead on this objective, which is something I think the stream missed. Was it's not just the tank needs to be on the objective to contest. I need to kill all 3 suits, because then I'll have 3 OC on this objective, and his hammerhead is 3 OC, and therefore we're tied. He won't get primary. So that's the goal. We have to get our charges off so that we can just kill a bunch of stuff. And once we're able to kill all the stuff up top here, he's also not going to have a good angle to shoot the Blade Guard up here with anything. He won't have much to shoot the Blade Guard with, because presumably the plane will be dead, this plane will be dead, the hammerhead won't be able to shoot at the Blade Guard, and the stealth suits will be gone. And then on turn 5, we can just charge a bunch of stuff and hold the objective, killing so much that he can't hold his home objective, and making it so that he's a broken and bitter man. What ended up happening, so we got the Infernus into the Impulsor. We drive onto the objective to get Storm Hostile. The Impulsor, between its blast weapon and the Flamers, are able to wipe out all the Kroot, because that's easy. All of my shooting that went into his flyer here also failed to kill it. Instead, they survived on 6 wounds instead of just 1, so even worse shooting, just the most awful rolls. And then the tank over here managed to whiff completely. I tried to shoot a couple shots at his 1 wound fighter, didn't kill it, so that was cool. And then shot a couple shots at the stealth suits, also didn't kill them. So it charged the suits. I needed 5 on the tank. I needed 5 tank shocks to be able to results to be able to get them. I only got 4 of them, so I killed 2 of them and left 1 guy on 1 wound left. Now remember, this is the team that my jump intercessors also swung into, failed to kill, and if I had just killed this last one, I would have denied him primary, but that didn't work. Now I only had 1 OC. Sorry, 1 CP here as well, and I needed that for tank shock. That was absolutely necessary. Remember, I didn't want to kill all of this squad because I needed to charge them and get onto this objective. And so, anyways, he's got 4 OC on here. Now he's gonna he will eventually use a CP to heroic whatever this guy to make sure that he doesn't fail his battle shock. And so we don't have any CP left. I need a 4 to charge into the fighter. And then he tells me at that point, after I'd moved all my guys to like skew toward him, he was like, oh no, you can't charge that thing. And I had no idea that I couldn't charge aircraft. Like, what did you think I was trying to charge there? So anyways, can't charge that thing. Great. Okay, still need a 4 to be able to hit this stealth suit. Rolled a 3, or was it Snake Eyes? I don't remember, but one way or another, rolled a 2 or a 3, failed to charge the suit, which if we had been able to charge the suit, then we would have still been able to kill all of the suits and get into the hammerhead. But that's not what happened. After all my shooting, even though the moment, couldn't kill the fighter, couldn't kill this fighter, couldn't kill anything, guys. Nothing. It all just fell apart. So frustrating. So frustrating, guys. Yeah, and yeah, look at the arrows just point at, like, we needed a 4. We needed a 4. Wipe out the stealth suits. And yeah, so he gets recover assets, gets storm hostile objective. Great, good for him. Though actually, oh yeah, I don't know if I think maybe this is the first time he got that. I don't know, guys. Anyways, I had to go back and recreate all these things because it was all just on stream. So if some of my records are wrong, I do apologize. So yeah, we're just sitting there like ducks. One thing that I did do I thought was pretty good. He moved all of his crisis suits. He really wanted to just be able to see the blade guard. So once he did, he moved them. I was able to get a reactive move to get him into this corner here so that only a few things would be able to see them. And that worked pretty nicely, but then he just shot with like all the stuff that I could have survived. Like he had this plane shoot at me, I think. I don't remember everything. He had this guy who I you know, he should have been like he should have not been able to shoot this turn. This guy alone killed 4 or 5 of the blade guard. And then I think his plane was able to shoot them, and I think this guy was able to shoot one of them as well. And at the end of the day, the things that I failed to kill that were kind of like for sure things to kill, or at least to stop from being able to shoot me, instead were not. You know, they were available to kill me, and they did. So that was it. He killed my tank down south. He killed my Impulsor and the guys inside. He killed the blade guard. And all my rolls, all my everything, just like all my plans just turned into dust. Like you know, that failed charge meant so much. And this guy who ended up being able to, like, he was able to shoot, and he killed more than half the unit on his own, you know, instead of not being able to shoot them. Yeah, so good times. I'm clearly very happy about that. Yeah, he killed pretty much all my stuff at that point. you know, and Vulkan, meanwhile, has just been sitting behind the wall, and that's kind of inexcusable. I should have been marching him up to contest and mess with his stuff as well, and I just didn't. At the very least, they could have come up here and shot the Vespids here so that the Infernus could come here and do Establish Locus or something, but I didn't do that, and, you know, that's on me for sure. So he gets Recover Assets and Storm Hostile. I had gotten Storm Hostile, and then turn 5 we just kind of ran through it. So he had marked for death, and in fact all of his units were kind of exposed to me, so he picked a Hammerhead. I was able to kill the Hammerhead, and I was able to sabotage with Vulkan Squad, because why not? You know, he couldn't stop it, but he got sabotage, he got no priz. And that was it, guys. I lost by 13 here, because he was able to get 13 on his primary at the end. And that was it. That's all she wrote, folks. I went in swinging. I thought I had a good plan, and I thought I had a good chance, and it just fell short in every way. Now, just so we're clear here, folks, my opponent was a really nice guy, and he was pretty chill. You know, he wanted to make sure we got every single rule exactly perfect, which was fine. I appreciate that about him, but no issues with him at all. It was a very frustrating game, however. Not about him, just about, you know, just the failure to execute here. So the cascading effects were on display here. Like the fact that trying to kill a thing and just totally failing to kill it really bit me this time. Sometimes it's like, okay, we could be okay. We can you know, get through it this time. I needed all my stuff to work out, and it just didn't. He kept making his saves. I kept failing to even roll to wound sometimes. There was one time I shot 2 las cannons at one of his planes, and so it's 3s to hit. I hit both of those, and then I needed 2s to wound because of the moment, and I rolled snake eyes, things like that. Or, you know, I'd do a couple wounds with las cannons, he'd get cover, and he'd roll double 5s, you know, to be able to save his cover save. So things like that, it just kept bouncing his direction, and you can make it work to a certain degree against some opponents that you're like, okay, well, sure, that we can take that in stride. But I mean, he was good enough that I couldn't get past that. You know, not being able to kill those stealth suits, not once, but twice, it just ruined it, guys. It ruined things. It's a ruiner of things. Super tragic. Not being able to kill those planes, and then they just turned around and wiped me out, man. Not being able to get that charge, all the things just added up to a pretty bad loss for me. Yeah, also against Tau, you know, Linchpin is just a really tough one. If I have to go first, I don't want to go first against Tau. I think it could have been more aggressive, however. I think I was too gun shy. I was too shy of his guns, and I think I should have moved out a little bit earlier. I think my early game was actually pretty good, though I think risking Vulkan early on would have been a lot better. I think we could have accomplished a lot more if I had risked Vulkan earlier. I didn't, and so he didn't end up getting risked at all, and that was like 200 points just sitting in my backfield doing nothing. That could have potentially made a difference. I don't know how much, but even as just a skirmisher in the middle, it would have been a lot tougher to remove the Vulkan squad than just a squad of incursors or whatever. So yeah, a lot of things I could have done better there. I was mostly happy with the chaff war that we had. Hopefully I could play better next time. Failing to realize how his planes worked was another issue that I had. A lot of things I needed to play better, honestly. You know, I Yes, I was frustrated with the results. That's undeniable. I was absolutely frustrated with them, but a lot of that, you know, we could have played better, and I think mostly my approach was good. I think, you know, I'm not gonna say I should have won, because I don't think that's even approaching what verbiage I would believe is true. I think things could have bounced a different direction a few of the times, and hopefully next time I'll be able to play a good enough game that it increases my odds of winning even more. At the end of the day, Tau aren't an overpowered army, and my opponent played it really well. So, you know, huge kudos to him. Honestly, you know, playing it, he ended up going 5-1, folks. He only lost to an Imperial Guard player. Otherwise, he destroyed everyone else he played. You know, our score wasn't particularly close. Hopefully next time it'll at least be closer, huh? One way or another, though, what's the next event? There's no real news here. Probably going to Albuquerque in a few months, a few weeks, I mean. So that should be fun and or interesting, though I guess we'll see if they fixed orcs by then, because I don't know if I want to go to a big event that still allows that more DACA nonsense. Because just big spoiler alert, guys, because I can't win this event now, that more DACA detachment 1 they got first, second, and third at Rocky Mountain Open. There were 3 guys that went undefeated, and they were all orcs. And at the same time, there was a similarly sized tournament in England that had their top 3 finishers as orcs as well. All of the Mordaka things. So I don't know if I want to play in an event that has Mordaka. We'll see. Though, yeah, we'll see, guys. But one way or another, we're gonna call it good, I think, guys. This has been fun. This has been real. This has been real fun. Guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. We'll see you in the next one, folks. We're facing Tyranids next.